Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Therapeutic Brother on the Big Brown Couch. I am your host, Eric Burns, licensed marriage and family therapist in the states of California and Nevada. Now, this is a video podcast that's designed to provide about 10-15 minutes of information on all things mental health, to provide you information, mental health information, education, and resources. As it is, in the world that we're living in, there is a desperate need for mental health. In my private practice, I am seeing more and more individuals coming in because mental health is being normalized in the African American community. And that's very important, that we normalize mental health in the African American community. So I want to give a big shout out to Simone Biles. I want to give a big shout out to all these athletes that are stepping forward and saying my mental health matters. So let's normalize the conversation around mental health. Let's normalize talking about how we feel, what we're feeling, what we're going through, the stressors that we have in life, our triggers. Let's normalize these things so we can start to heal as a people. As someone who got into mental health over 15 years ago, I was kind of like the black unicorn. There weren't many African-American men in my grad program. I think I can, probably name about 7 at the most. So that's not even 10 people, 10 black men that were in my graduate program, in either the doctorate program or in the marriage and family therapist program. So are we out there? Yes, we are. However, we have to normalize mental health. So with that being said, I wanted to share with you a little bit on what you should look for if you are considering going and seeking therapy, if you're considering going and seeking therapy for yourself, for your children, for you and your partner, for you and your family, just what you should look for, things that I feel are important and things that my clients have said to me over the years about their choices and how they choose a mental health provider. Because a mental health provider, it is so very important that you have a lot of choices out there. You want to make sure that you're making an informed decision, a decision that is best for you and your long-term mental health goals. So one of the first things, and here's the other thing. If you are considering mental health and mental health treatment, congratulations. Congratulations. Whether you were referred, whether you just said, you know what, I know it's working for some of my friends. I just need someone to talk to. So some of the things that I find important for me, and I'm just going to, no particular order. When you're choosing someone, when you're making a decision on someone who is going to providing these services for you, I feel it's very important that you find someone that is relatable. Now, all of us have different experiences. A lot of us have shared experiences. Experiences that are very similar that maybe we have dealt with in a different way, but we all have shared experiences. So you find someone that is relatable, someone that you are going to enjoy talking to, someone that is going to enjoy talking to you, someone that is going to make you feel comfortable around a very, very uncomfortable thing. Mental health can be very, very uncomfortable. So make sure you find someone that is relatable, someone that is going to make you feel good about coming in for therapy. Another thing that I would say is not only do they have to be relatable, you have to make sure that they are non-judgmental. Now, a lot of times you might not be able to find this out through the first consultation. Well, you might. You might be able to find that out. So you want to make sure that the person you're working with is non-judgmental. It is so important. When I first started going to therapy all those years ago, I got a list of names. We didn't have the internet, or the internet was very, very young and very, very new. So it didn't have all the resources that we have now. So I got a list of names from an agency, and I picked a name that I thought was a person that looked like me. It wasn't. And when I walked up in there, and I really felt judgment, I felt judged before I even sat down in the chair. Just the way he looked at me, the way he, the way as he filled out my paperwork, and he, okay. I just felt very judged. So you want to make sure. And when I walked out of there, I felt worse than I did when I walked in. How are you going to feel worse walking out of therapy than you did when you walked in? Now, some people, sometimes you do leave a therapy appointment and it doesn't feel very good. I admit that. I mean, some of my clients, I've had to challenge them on some things, and it just didn't feel very good to them, and that's okay. And after the rapport was built, and I've earned that trust, and I've earned that right to challenge them in certain areas of their life that they maybe need to re-examine, that's different. However, to have someone judge you or make you feel bad about yourself the very first session, that didn't feel very good to me. So you want to make sure that they're relatable. Number 2, you want to make sure that they're non-judgmental. And number 3, don't be afraid to ask about their experience as a therapist. Now, a lot of times when people don't go to therapy because, they feel it's an exchange of power. It is. I mean, I'm going in, I'm going to reveal myself. I'm going to be open, vulnerable, and raw. And I'm going to talk about, all the things that have brought me here. So I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be raw. So you want to make sure that the person you are working with has experience in working with some of the things that you are coming to the table with. I can't express how important that is, especially if you're someone who is brand new to therapy and you want to really do your work. You want to make sure that the people that you are entrusting, and you're basically hiring them to provide a service, right? You want to make sure that you know their level of experience in certain areas. I've had couples come in and ask me all the time, what is your view on relationships? I've had couples ask me, what is your view on open relationships? It's like, okay, that's fair. Those are fair questions to ask. I've had single moms come in and ask, how are you going to work with my son? How are you going to work with my son? How do you feel about the fact that I might not like his father, right? So these are all things that you can ask. You can ask your potential therapist, what are some of your experiences? Have you ever worked with this situation before? Have you ever worked with that situation before? Have you ever worked with an individual who's struggling with this? Have you ever worked with an individual struggling with that? I had a person come in and they asked me, have I ever dealt with a certain disorder? And because I didn't have the experience in that particular disorder, I had to let them know, I don't have the experience in that particular disorder. However, let's look for some additional resources, and let me help you find a therapist that might be better suited to what you're looking for. Because as a professional, I feel it's unethical to take on a client that you don't have the experience to deal with. Now, And there's a lot of therapists that specialize in certain things. I have more experience in some areas than I do others, right? And if you're coming in and you're looking for a particular experience, or you're looking for a particular expertise, that's the word I'm looking for. It's late. You know what I mean? It's late. And I said, I have to get a video uploaded to YouTube. I have to. It's about content. It's about the therapeutic brother on the big brown couch. The therapeutic brother on the big brown couch. All right, I'm particularly proud of my logo. You could probably tell. So, but anyway, you want to make sure that they're relatable, that they're non-judgmental, and that they have experience working in whatever it is you are bringing to the table. That is oh so important. A great resource is the website Psychology Today. Psychology Today is a wonderful website that you can go to, and you can put in if you want to work with a male, if you want to work with a female, if you want to work with cognitive behavioral, if you want to work with someone who specializes in addiction and chemical dependency. If you want someone who specializes or who treats anxiety or depression or any of the post-traumatic stress disorder, mood disorder, bipolar, borderline disorder, you could go on psychologytoday.com. And if you type in Eric Burns, you'll probably see my handsome face. But anyway, go to Psychology Today, and you will be able to find a therapist in your area. Now, the beautiful thing with this whole pandemic, a lot of therapists are offering virtual sessions. Now, what I particularly like about the virtual sessions is that you can do them from the privacy of your own home. And if you're uncomfortable with going to a therapy office, if you're uncomfortable with people might see you or people might, oh, where are you going? You could just go into your room and be like, I'll be out in a minute. I got to make a phone call. And you could do your session right there in the privacy of your room. And with the scheduling, a lot of therapists that are offering virtual sessions are also, they're more flexible with their schedules. Because, they might be able to see you at a time that if they were in the office, it might be problematic, right? You're always on time for a virtual session unless you just forget. Most of us have software that will send you a text reminder or a voicemail reminder about your appointment. So Psychology Today is a wonderful, wonderful resource if you are looking to get into therapy for yourself, your children, couples, families, whatever it is that you're working on. I use it. I've used it before. As a matter of fact, when someone asked me about the particular thing, the particular disorder, the struggle that they were dealing with, that I just didn't know, I didn't feel comfortable working with them because I just didn't have the expertise. I went right to Psychology Today while they were on the phone with me, and I gave them like 3 or 4 names and phone numbers of people that had that experience listed on their bio. So that's let's see. You want to make sure that they're relatable. You want to make sure that they're non-judgmental, and you want to make sure that they have expertise and competence in what you are there to work on. There's a number of different other things that I could mention, and if I did, we'd be here probably 20 more minutes. And again, I just wanted this to be a short 10, 12-minute video on how to pick a mental health provider. So once again, my name is Eric Burns, licensed marriage and family therapist, also known as the Therapeutic Brother. And this has been the Therapeutic Brother on the Big Brown Couch. Listen, I want you guys to be well. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Eventually, I'm going to get fancy with this thing and put a lot of logos and stuff and text and all that other stuff, and I'm still learning the technology. So still like, share, and subscribe. The Therapeutic Brother on the Big Brown Couch. Be well and always be encouraged.